What up, Devil? Sensei-tutum here with another video for you. So, what are you thinking about today? Oh, Bitcoin? Oh yeah, me too. Check it out. So I think a lot of you are going short right now. You can do that. I think price very well could go down a little bit. Maybe not soon, but at some point. But I hate to tell you this, guys. We're pretty oversold. It's looking real good. We're looking real juicy for a nice bounce here. So if you look at the point of control on the VPVR, 64.17, we are just, looks like we were rejected at the 50 logarithmic retracement of the move of the year, right? I know you guys think that we're going to zero. That's a good thing if that's what you're thinking. If you think that, then you should know that your mind is playing tricks on you, right? The sentiment of the masses is always wrong. So however you're feeling, well, I shouldn't say always. And I don't trade. Personally, I don't trade based on what, people are saying. But it's definitely always something interesting to look at. But the crowd is generally wrong. So what's the crowd saying right now? All right. Don't freak out. Could keep going down. But if you're looking at this from a macro perspective, let's just look at this. Do we like Elliott Wave? Around here we do. If you're watching this video, I imagine you have at least a little bit of interest / respect for it. So we have a nice big 3-wave looking move after one of the biggest bulls of all time, right? Big old 3-wave looking move. Big retracement. And off that low, we have done a 342% move. So that's interesting. 342% move. Could be a bear market, 342% rally. Kind of doubt it. I kind of doubted that we would make a new low after this dilly. It made no sense, to be honest, because it was we had never had a move this big in Bitcoin's history and not had follow through. Well, we didn't this time. Very interesting, right? Happens. It does happen that the first time that something ever happened, there was a first time, right? So there's the first time now. Now, I'm not saying that the universe is written by the laws of Elliott Wave, but I feel pretty strongly in the rule set of Elliott Wave and just in general the theory about the market moving in motive waves and correcting in corrective waves. And if we look here, how many swings do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clear swings. Very little overlap. In fact, just about none, other than this one of, however you want to dice it up. But I would call it a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Could this be corrective? I guess maybe you could come up with a count. I don't really see it. There are waves that trick us. But this does not look like a corrective wave to me. This is a motive wave in my eyes. You know what looks corrective? This looks corrective. What does Elliott Wave tell us about the sentiment during a bear market, during a C wave? How do you feel right now? Do you feel like this is a wave 3? Or do you feel pretty, dejected? If you're a holder. I imagine if you're a holder, you feel pretty dejected. I think it looks good, man. I think it looks good for a bounce right here. I think this is a great area to at least get a bounce. I like Sam's count from Friday, where we could potentially put in another low, but maybe not. I mean, from a macro perspective, if I was a macro investor in Bitcoin, I'm a trader. I have a hard time doing macro investments. But if I was a macro investor, I'd be seriously considering scooping up some fucking Bitcoin. But, hopefully a lot of you guys think it's a Ponzi scheme, because the only way I get to scoop it up cheaper if I were a macro investor, not saying I am, is if people hate it. And by the way, also if I was a macro investor, I would know that this is a binary outcome from a macro investment perspective. Bitcoin is either going to zero or it's going to way fucking higher than it is now. So if you're a macro investor, just know that you could very well lose your entire investment, and be prepared for that. And if you're not, if you tell yourself you are and you get super scared, then you're not. If you don't get super scared, then you're probably doing it right. Anyway, just checking in. Toot out.